Hey guys, I just want to deliver a quick message before we start the video, and I would really appreciate it if you went on my channel and hit the big red subscribe button and turned on notifications to make sure you get an update every time I post a video and you will not miss anything. And back to your video. Thank you. Hello Legends of Today and the Future, this is TVB here, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to develop your own game, your own Roblox game in fact, and you just have not known where to start because you get into the studio and all you see is something that's intimidating? Well, boy, have you clicked on the right video, because I will show you how to make your full-on Roblox game from scratch, starting from the base plate. Now, first, it's gonna take a lot of scripting, and you're gonna need to get used to that, and a lot of building. So there is a lot of work ahead, but I promise you, it is worth it. So just sit back and enjoy the video. Hello Legends of Today in the Future, this is TVB here, and welcome to part 3 on how to make your own Roblox game. We are simply just going to jump right back into the main script that we have started. So, as you can tell, last time we had all our variables put in, and now we got as far as the teleportation. And I noticed I left out a really crucial fact. So right here, where it says like players found, under this player table, we're going to stick a for loop. So, for I is equal to, now let's pick a starting value. I think a 30-second, or no, let's do 10 for the sake of the video. 10-second countdown. It's going to end at 0, and then we're going to put in a third value, which is going to be our interval. So every time this thing loops, the value of the number of I will go down by 1, so -1. And we're just type 2. We are going to now do status.value is equal to, so game, or making preparations. We're going to do 3 dots, and then we're going to concatenate that to the value of I. So then that's going to be put out. And then we want it to loop every second, so then just type wait with a 1. So it will loop, then wait a second, it will keep going down for 10 seconds, and then it will continue. We're going to insert all the players in the table. And once we have the map chosen, we're going to do, we're going to go down here, we're going to do status.value is equal to, actually no, we're going to do this, we're going to go under these local variables right here, we're going to do status.value is equal to this round will be, then we'll put a space, so we don't want it to be like connected, otherwise it will be, the word B will be directly stuck onto like whatever you concatenate this to. And we're gonna do chosen map.name, so it doesn't give me the thing, map.name, and I spelled that wrong. There we go. So now we'll state what the map's going to be, and now we're going to do another for loop. So for I equals 10 to 0, wrong button, -1, do status.value is equal to game starts in however many seconds, so I seconds. So there, that will run, and then it will go straight on to the teleportation. And then under here, we're gonna want to do we're gonna do that in underneath this big for loop right here. So we're gonna do status.value is equal to game starting. We're gonna do round actually, or no, game. We'll do game. And then if you want any storyline, like of dialogue, this is the place you're gonna want to put it. So then you can just put a wait command, and then put any more dialogue that you have. So, but I'm not gonna do that. It's just a simple thing. It's not like there's a story to it. So yep, we're gonna do that. drop down 2. Now we want to start the main game loop. And we're going to do that by making a big for loop. It's going to be a really big one. So for I is equal to the time of your game, which we have defined by a variable all the way up in here, which is 90 seconds. So we want to just, instead of typing 90, we can put game 1 time, because in case it changes. Ending at 0, going by -1 each time, do. Now we're going to want to type up that same thing. We're going to do a similar thing with the value of status. So it equals there is, okay, we're actually going to do I, so I'm going to concatenate that to a string. Seconds left, that's not correct. Seconds left, and then we're going to do a player count. So now so there's that many seconds left, and okay, we're going to do and with a space, concatenate that to, we're going to find the number of people in the player table. We're going to do players left. And that will be going, and it's going to go by every second. So that's the main loop, but we want to do a constant check while the game is running to make sure to check if someone dies and if someone hasn't died. So we're going to do a big handler on that. So now we're going to do another for loop. We're going to do for x, because we are using I for the game time, comma player. So x is our index, player is for every player, and we're going to pair the table, so in pairs, player table, so PLRS, do. Now first thing is if player, then now we're going to redefine the global variable character. So the character is equal to player dot character, and then we're going to do an else. There's no player. We're going to table dot remove from the player table. We want to remove the index, or x, not I, for whatever player's gone. And then we're going to do a print message, player dot name, concatenate that to left or died, something like that. We don't need a punctuation. This is only being printed in the developer console, so not everyone's going to be able to see it. And we're going to drop down here. We're going to do if character, then. So if they have a character, that means they're in the game. So if character, colon find, so we want to make sure they still have a game tag. So we want to find the game tag. So if it's found, then we want to print something. So we're going to find the name of that player. Is still alive. It's just like that. And we're going to do an else statement here. They don't have a game tag. We're going to remove them because they are not supposed to be in the game without a tag. So that means they have spawned in the lobby, but they're still in the player table. So that happens whenever in the leaderboard script, whenever you die, your game tag is removed. So, but they're not removed from the table right away. So there's going to be that split-second interval. So we're going to remove them once we find it. So table.remove. That was wrong. Sorry about that. .remove them from the players table. So players X. And we're going to do a print. And we're going to do has. We're going to put a space. Has died. And we're going to put player dot name like that. So concatenating their name, concatenating it to that they have died. And we're going to do an else statement for the if the character. So if there's no character, that might detect that they have also died. So table dot remove PLRS players and X again. And we're going to just set a status.value, which might not even appear. So we're going to put the player name, and say that they died. So was eliminated. So that is our check loop. So this is what's gonna run pretty much every time this thing runs. So every second that goes by in the game, this for loop is gonna run for every player to make sure that someone had to do a recap on who's all alive. And then under this, we can we can separate these. We're gonna drop down another one. We're gonna put a thing there too. And we are going to put an if statement, so when if there's one player left, so we're going to make it so it's like a last person standing. So if the number of players in the table by the time it loops is equal to 1 and only 1, then we want to reward them. So we're going to first say that they have won. So we're going to do congratulations. And we're concatenate that to players. Now we're going to find the player table, and we're going to find an index, the first player, which is going to be the only player at the time. So we can just find the players one dot name, and we're going to put you are this this round victor. I'm gonna do that in capitals because it's gonna look cooler that way. Just like that. And now we want to reward them with some currency. So we're gonna do players one. So we're just gonna find their player dot leader stats, and I think I have the currency. Yeah, currency name is already defined. Dot value is equal to what it was. So we're gonna type that again. Ay. And now we want to add the last survivor reward. And now we want to give them a win. So player, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to copy this, but instead we're going to target the wins. So we're going to paste that, and inside these brackets we're going to see if we have wins name. Okay, I do have that too. And then for here we're going to make this a variable, so I'm going to delete that for now. I'm going to go all the way back up here into our variables, and we are going to add another variable. So local win is equal to 1, because we want to add 1 win every time. It looks cooler when we use variables like this too. So plus a win. Oh. Just like that. And now we have that they will get the whatever the last survivor reward is at the time, and a win. So, and then we're gonna wait a couple seconds so they can sit and bathe in their victory for a bit on the map by themselves. We're gonna give it a 5-second wait, and then we're going to break from the loop just by typing break. So we're gonna break out of this game for loop, and then it will end the game from there on. And then we're gonna drop down. We're gonna do an else if. So what an else if does is, it's like, okay, so you can have multiple if statements, but the thing is with that multiple, or more than one of them can run, and that's not always the case. But with this one it's not the case, but it will save you a lot of ends. You can see like all these, it all condenses from the end, from just like an else from the if. So this else if is basically saying if it's not this, it can be another specified condition rather than something that's just the exact opposite or whatever that's not. So else if we run out of time, so I, the value of I, hits 0, then we're going to do status.value equals no one wins this round. We will reward surviving players. So then now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do player. So now actually we're going to do another for loop. So for x, comma, player in pairs. And we're going to do the player table. So whoever's still left in the game at that time. Because we can use x because we're not inside this loop. So the reason we couldn't use I is because this loop is inside the I loop. So this we can use x again because it's not inside of its loop. So if player, then we don't want to we don't care about the character. So player dot leader stats currency. So we're gonna do the currency dot value equal to the same thing. So player dot leader stats we're gonna do the basic reward, and we shouldn't technically give him a win because it says no one wins this round, so we're just gonna give him that. It's gonna loop through this once, and then yep, and then after that loops, we're gonna break out of the game loop. So that should be it. However, we're gonna do a third statement. It can't always happen, but you gotta be prepared because people can make anything happen nowadays, knowing all the hackers and all that out there. So we're gonna add a little bit of a foolproofing thing. And we're gonna do another else if the number of players is actually equal to none, so everyone dies. Then we're gonna do stat value. We're gonna do something kind of funny. What? How does this work? Oh well, no one gets anything. Or just put a little sad face. And then we're gonna wait about another 5 seconds. And then we're gonna break out of the loop again. And then right here, I forgot, we're gonna add another 5-second wait. Right there. And that should be good. That should be it for the game loop. So now, whenever it breaks, we're gonna find the end of this loop. Yep, so we're just gonna trace it down right here, and we'll fix that right there. Kinda did a weird indent thing. But we're gonna drop here, and we're gonna do print game over in the output so the server can recognize it. And then we're going to drop 2, and we're going to do for I player. We're going to do another player loop. And there was a... Okay, good. So for every player in the table now, we're going to do if player, then character is equal to player dot character. We don't need an else state or an else because it doesn't matter at this point. And then we're gonna do if not character then. So if there's no character, we're just gonna say nothing needs. We're gonna do a comment to happen here, but we're still gonna put it in. And then we're going to do an else. So if there's a character, now we're going to find what we have made. Okay, so there's 2 things, the game tag and the pistol. So this is for everyone. And actually, no, right here, change this to game.players. And then get players, like that. And with 2 brackets there, or 2 parentheses there. So we don't want it to do just for people in the table, we want to do it for everyone in the game, just in case. So now if player.backpack, so we're going to check everyone's backpack in the game. And if we find, so find first child. So if we find the pistol that we have spawned them with, then player dot backpack dot pistol, and we're gonna destroy it. So colon destroy, just like that, so it gets rid of it. And we don't want an else if here because there can be this, they can have multiple. So we're gonna do if character colon find so if we find the first child in the character called pistol, and this can happen when the player equips it. So whenever the player equips something, it's going to make a double of it inside their character. And if we didn't have this, if they had it equipped, they would still have it equipped on their character, and there's no telling what would happen then. So we're going to do a precaution here. So if it's also on their character, we're going to destroy it. So character dot pistol colon destroy as well. And then we're going to do a third statement for the game tag. So if character colon find, this especially works for the winner of the last round because they didn't die, so the leaderboard script won't remove it from them. Character dot game tag colon destroy, so we want to destroy the game tag as well. And that's the finishing loop done. Now we just want to drop down and if player, so we're going to drop inside this if player loop. We're going to do player colon load character, so it's just going to kind of respawn them at the spawn like that. And we're going to put the brackets there because it's a built-in function. So then outside of this for loop, we're going to drop down 2, and we're going to do cloned map colon destroy. So we want to destroy the map that's in the game. And we want to do status dot value is equal to game over. And then we're going to wait about 2 seconds, just like that. And then the entire game will start over again, and it will do everything up here. So now this is a complete loop, so the game should be ready to play. And we're just going to do a precaution, or not a precaution, but we're going to test it. We're going to close out of this. We're going to simulate a server inside the test thing. So local server with 2 players, that's all we need to start, I think. Let me check the script again. Yep, 2. Sick, let's get this started. So we're gonna click on start, and I'll come back when it starts. So what running the simulated server pretty much does, it will open 3 new windows. So I recommend minimizing your current one. It's going to open a server window, which is basically an overlook. It's going to open 2 client windows, so which is going to be both of the players that you put in. Actually, that depends on the amount of players you put in the game. So if you selected 2 players, 3 windows are going to open. If you selected 10 players, you're going to open 11 windows on your game, which is probably not going to be a pleasant experience, depending if your computer's like crazy, awesome, not like mine, or if it's crappy, somewhat like mine. And as you can tell, it kind of worked. It did recognize the player and the victories. So, okay, and it spawned us back. We're gonna see what happened. There might have been an error with the spawning, and it seems we have an error. So we're gonna look down in the output to see what have possibly went wrong. So we're going to open our developer console here. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. So under server. And don't worry, that is not my skin, by the way. That is horrifying. It's just because we're stuck down here. But as you can tell, player 2 got 1,000 got 500 points added on for them winning. So now we're going to spawn back, hopefully. So the test may have broken for me. Try it yourself with one of your friends or do the server test. Let me know if it works, and if there's anything wrong, check the output. If not, leave in the comments what happened, and I will actually get back and I will fix the script. Because I've never actually had errors with this script yet. I might have to end up having to try it on a Roblox itself. So, to stop this, you just simply hit cleanup. But we can tell that the loop for rewarding the winner worked, because it put it right here. So we're gonna do cleanup. Under wins name right here, I'm actually gonna do this to .wins just to possibly eliminate that. So it's specifying just where it is in the player. I'm gonna open up our leaderboard to make sure of this. Yep, it's wins, so that should work. So the .wins .value. Make sure we spelled everything right. So yep, this should work. Test it test it when you get the chance. If it doesn't work, let me know. Find any errors, send them to me. And in the next video, we'll figure out how to make a shop and currency, like currency purchase with Robux. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. And